Hey there. Welcome to another edition of Tinnitist TV. Today I'm talking to Brent and Marc Belke of SNFU, the latest band kicking off a residency in Las Vegas. No, they aren't reuniting to play the Sphere. These beloved Canadian skate punks have been inactive since the death of frontman Ken Chinn back in 2020. But now they're the focus of a new exhibit at the Punk Rock Museum, timed to coincide with a new 40th anniversary reissue of their landmark 1985 debut album, And No One Wanted to Play. So two of the Edmonton-born band's founding members, guitarists Marc and Brent, will be at the museum for the December 5th opening. They'll give tours, take part in a roundtable discussion on the band, the album, and their legacy, and even jam with Fat Mike in the museum's Pennywise Garage. But first, the brothers zoomed in from BC to talk about being institutionalized, the good and bad old days, what Mr. Chai Pig would make of all this, and more. Enjoy. How does it feel to be in a museum?
I like the way you put that. When you put it that way, it makes me feel like a dinosaur. But at the same time, it's super cool to be acknowledged, right? For something that happened 40 years ago for this, the first album came out 40 years ago. So it's kind of amazing that people are still talking about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you couldn't have ever imagined,
No.
when you guys were playing at crappy little places in Edmonton and getting in the van to drive around, that someday you'd be in a museum with, your artifacts and things. I mean, artifacts, I mean, just the whole concept is kind of wild when you
Well,
consider a punk band.
yeah. Well, the whole concept of a punk rock museum back, like, say, go back to 1983, as you were saying, and having a museum just dedicated
Yeah.
to punk rock. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, because it was, just walking down the street, you'd be getting bottles thrown at you back then. So,
Yeah, and I think there should be acknowledgement to Fat Mike and Fletcher and whoever else was involved in making the museum. Because when I heard the concept originally, I sort of scoffed. Actually, I was like, right, and I had this image of what it would be, but it is what they've done is way beyond anything that I would have imagined. It's like a real grand tribute to the whole genre of punk rock for sure. I'm looking forward. I haven't been there yet. And I'm looking forward to going.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I was there last year about a month or so after they opened. So maybe they were still working out some bugs and stuff, but even then it was great. And I was one of the things I loved was there was one cabinet and it's like stretch marks and personality crisis. And I think there was probably something of yours in there. It was like, okay, old home week. It wasn't just all the big American bands that you would expect,
yeah.
you know. So I understand that your exhibit kind of grew out of a thing that started up here in Saskatchewan. Have I got that right? Can
Yeah.
you explain that a little, how that came about?
Brent, I think you know more about it than I do.
Well, this fella in Saskatchewan, Jared, I know I just heard last year, online I was contacted about this exhibit going on through Christian, who's from a guy from Edmonton who helped Jared with it, and talking about it and saying if I had any cool stuff lying around. And from there they showed when the exhibit opened, which I didn't actually go to, but I was completely blown away from the photos of the stuff that they had, like the amount of stuff and the amount of cool stuff and rare stuff. I was going, wow, there's not, that's a pretty rare thing, that's a rare thing. So he has a really, and it was sort of a tribute to SNFU, but it was especially the art, like the t-shirt, like there's I think it started as a t-shirt collection. So it's like all the t-shirts and posters. So it's really a tribute to the art of uh well, I was gonna say punk rock, but punk rock really, but from an SNU
Yeah.
point of view, right? Yeah.
So did you have anything to give him? Were either of you kind of saving stuff, or did it all just kind of, go away over the decades?
I did not
Uh,
I didn't contribute anything, so
Yeah.
I haven't given him, and I'm surprised how little stuff I have. I sort of looked through, and I don't know. I I am gonna look again this week before we go to Las Vegas. But things like I thought that would be appropriate for there, like the banners we used to hang up behind us. I have no idea where they are. Some people have them, and for some reason they think they have a right to them when they're actually ours. Chai may have sold them. I don't
Mhm.
really know. But things like that, don't know where some of this stuff is.
Just you weren't thinking ahead either, right? It wasn't, well, somebody's going to want this someday. It was just
Yeah.
stuff, right? Yeah.
Well, and some people are just collectors, right? And some people aren't. And you move enough times in your life, you just get tired of dragging things around. In some cases, you just want to move on, right? Like it's like,
Hmm.
hey, it's done, it's over, it's done. So
Well, I mean, was that the case with you guys? I know you kind of weren't there at the end and all that. Had it soured for you emotionally, or was it just you had moved on?
well, for me, it was just you're always sort of weighing it as you go,
Mm,
and it was ending up it wasn't that much fun anymore. There was fun moments, but
mm,
by the end of it, for me, I was managing and doing things like that, and my management sort of suffered because I just wanted to be creative. My creative side suffered because I was busy managing, and everything was just sort of half-assed. And my relationship with Chai had sort of gone north. It was just like doors slammed in my face and disagreements
mm,
all the time, and it just wasn't that much fun, right?
yeah.
So you
No,
just
it
move on.
happens, right? As the years go by, right? You grow in different directions. So, I mean, you guys being brothers in a band together, there's a lot of, really horror shows kind of stories about brothers and bands, and then there's good ones. How were, where do you guys fall on that spectrum? Did you get along, or were you always button heads, or what?
We always got along. Since we had a bedroom together since day one,
Sure.
and until the day Mark moved out. And yeah, no, we totally got along, and we started playing music at the same time, and uh, yeah, it was a very good relationship as far as that goes in every capacity. As far as our music and our work relationship and our personal relationship, it's always been great. So I'm very
Hmm.
fortunate to have a cool brother like Mark.
I mean, you guys must have had a very, in terms of musically getting along together, it must have been that kind of thing where you didn't really even have to discuss a lot of stuff and you would know what the other one was doing, I'm assuming.
Yes, yeah. I've heard that. People have said we had some kind of kinetic link because like, I would play something and then Mark would play something and did it and we never really discussed it. We sort of just did it, right?
Right.
Well, actually as far as, all the music, like even just writing songs, we just kind of got together and did it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But you didn't have like some made up twin language or anything, right?
No.
No,
But
but
yeah, we're working on it.
we grew up together. We were like together all the time.
Yeah.
So all the sort of social mechanisms and language and inferred things that are just inferred with body language are all there. Like we know each other very well.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, did it help in the context of the band in terms of being like, you had two votes and they were always kind of, you guys were a political block of your own?
Well, I guess, we were on the same page with like generally with most stuff, so
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess it made it easier in that way. As far as, the band was, SNFU was always kind of, a democracy. We always discussed things and tried to make everyone had their say. But yeah, and just the fact that we were so close, that probably made that, at least two of us were on the same page and knew what was going on, right?
Right. And I mean, and can bands really be democracies though? I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of need a benign ruler, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. No, we tried to keep it we tried to make it democratic, right? So
Hmm.
I think it was I think it was pretty successful at that. We never had any one person deciding everything. So yeah.
Hmm. So getting back to the display, is there one thing that you wish you had kept, or that, when you saw this, what they had, that you went, holy shit, I can't believe somebody's got that?
I
No,
haven't seen the display, so it's hard for me to
Oh, you
comment.
don't know what's in it yet, even, really?
Nope.
I have enough stuff. I have too much stuff, so I should go to the garage and find. There's got to be something that they would appreciate to have. That's why when they had it, I kind of did a quick look and I didn't find anything that seemed that super cool and rare. But I don't know. Maybe I can dig further and get clear out some space in my house. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know you guys are going to be there kind of giving tours or whatever, or talking about this. Have you thought about what there is to say? Do you have stories that you want to tell, or are you just kind of going to walk in and wing it?
No, I think what you do is sort of wing it. I think it's because you don't have to, what I've been told, you don't have to know everything about every detail about everything in the exhibits. It's more just relating our experiences to what we see, kind of thing. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you basically walk through it. I mean, when I went, Eugene Hutz from Gogol Bordello was doing tours that weekend, and yeah, it was basically looking at the stuff through his eyes and going, this band meant this to me, and this thing meant that to me. And yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Just a stream of consciousness kind of relating to the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, what would Ken make of all this, do you think?
oh, he'd love it. I think he would love it because I mean I mean, I don't really know. I think he would love it because he liked all that stuff, and we definitely love punk rock. That's sort of what drew us together as friends. So to look back at any of that thing, you sort of get nostalgic, and you always have good memories about some of the items that are probably there.
Yeah, I think he appreciated his, he liked getting attention, so any attention I think he would like. That's why
Well, he
he was
was in
such
the
a
right
great,
job for that.
that's why he was a great frontman because he wanted
Yeah.
attention. That's what happens when
Hmm.
you're in a family of 11 or 12 kids, you're just looking for attention, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly,
it's in
exactly.
your
And you guys are also reissuing the first album, right?
Yeah.
Trust
So
Records is releasing it.
so what went into that? I mean, did you have the masters to go back and work with, or is it just off of some random tape somewhere, or how did this all come
Well,
about?
well,
Well,
Trust Records acquired BYO Records, so they had
Ah,
everything from
okay.
BYO. And when they contacted us, it was, I don't know, was it Mark 40 years ago when this whole process started? It started a long time ago. And our first thought was, oh, let's remix it. And they were like, no, 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 no. This is an artifact, and we want to keep it as like a sort of an archival kind of thing. We don't want to remix
Mm,
it. And you were like, yeah, you guys are totally right. So, and they just basically wanted to release it as it was, remaster it, but no remixing or anything. And then for the box set, there's a huge booklet with tons
mm.
of photos I'd never seen before and stuff. So it's
Wow.
yeah, they did a really good job of compiling and arranging all the extra footage in the book, and yeah, it's going to be great.
I mean, I'm guessing that you guys probably haven't listened to this stuff in a while. How did it hold up to you, now all these decades later? Was it kind of one of those, wow, this is better than we thought, or was it kind of old high school yearbook photos?
for me, it was better than I thought because I hadn't really listened to it for a very, very long time. And the production is kind of iffy, I think. Some of the guitar
Sure.
tones are kind of harsh and things like that. But I was sort of pleasantly surprised. I think it sort of holds up.
Hmm. How
Yeah,
about you, Brent?
I
yeah,
think Chai's vocals or lyrics are very witty, and they still sort of stand up and stick in your head because they're kind of slightly outrageous and very unique, very unique.
And you're the same, Brent?
yeah. Well, I never listened to the first album. I never went back and listened to stuff. I always found it a bit difficult because I would be overly analytical of
Right.
especially my guitar playing and stuff. We did the first album. I'd been playing guitar for 4 years or something like that. So, even just playing the songs live, I felt I was more capable of playing, and just the way we were just better as a band. So I was always listening to the first album. I didn't really want to do that because I didn't quite enjoy it. But anyway, and I just want to keep moving forward. So then at this point, I totally did the deep dive, and I actually even got all the digitized the actual recording files and everything. And I was
Mm.
like, wow, this is super cool. It's not, perfect, but that's part of the what makes it great. It's where we were at the time, and yeah, I was impressed, and I was like, yeah, it's cooler than I thought, actually, going back and doing the deep
It's
dive.
kind of I just want to one Joe from Trust said that every reissue that they do, the band is always like, "Can we remix it?" It's the first thing they want to do.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Every
sure. I
band.
mean, especially from back in the day but
yeah,
I gotta be honest with you. I agree with you guys. As much as I understand the artifact concept that he's approaching there, I would love to hear a remixed version of it just because I think you could do so much more with, the separation and the mix of the guitars and the rhythm
yeah.
section and everything.
So Daryl, yeah, maybe we just do a few of those and just to see what
Do
happens.
it.
Just we'll do
Do
it for you,
it.
Daryl. Just
Do it
pick
for me. I'll yeah.
we'll pick some
I'll buy
gems,
one.
remix them, sweeten them up, and give them the 2025
That's right.
polish.
That's right. So, I mean, are you going to be reissuing the whole catalog? Is this part of a kind of a campaign of things for the next couple of years, or what?
I don't really know. I haven't really heard. I assume they're going to re-release the second album because it
Yeah.
was on BYO,
Yeah.
but there I haven't heard. They haven't brought it up.
Right.
Yeah, no,
After that, then the rights get convoluted, right?
no, yeah, the second album, they said there's a couple of times that, oh, for the next one, when I had
Mm.
like crazy ideas and I was, yeah, the next one, which, well, this one took 4 years. So yeah, it'll probably be another 4 years before the Fish album comes out, right?
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, do you guys have, are there like a lot of leftovers? I know you've put out some stuff over the years in terms of rarities and stuff that was previously unreleased. Is there a lot of other stuff left in a vault somewhere sitting there waiting to be put out, or is everything kind of out there?
It's all out there. Well, this Trust Records box set has a second disc with
Mm.
I know demo stuff that Evan had a little collection of demo stuff and live recordings or something, and that's going to be on the disc too. When I heard that idea, I went, no, 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 right?
Oh,
Yeah,
why?
because well, just like rough demos and
Huh.
like warts and all, and I was like, oh, okay. But then when I heard it, I went, okay, it gives you context. It's stuff from
Yeah.
that was previous to the recording of the play album, so it kind of gives you context of what got us to the first album, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's very thorough.
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I can see it if they're like just garbage recordings or whatever. But I think if they're kind of reasonably intact things, it makes perfect sense. That's what
they're,
people want to hear.
they're
You know?
Yeah, and I
reasonably.
think
That's it. They're reasonably intact. They're really not great recordings. They're
Yeah.
probably good for a cassette tape,
Yeah.
a boombox recording. Some of it's just like boombox recordings from the practice place and shit like that. So they're great for that, but still, they're not they're not great quality, but it captures the punk rock and right. So
well in
Exactly. It's
this
like
in
that
this
Stooges box set they did years ago where they did Funhouse and you hired they put out like all 57 takes of everything and so you hear the process.
yeah. Like
yeah
if you just released the one song, it would be bad, but within the body of work and the context, it's like, yeah, that's
Right.
really cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys still remember all those songs? If could you take one of those guitars down off the wall behind you and play any of the songs in off that first album to this day?
Well, I
so
could play. Well, so these guys in Edmonton did a comic book based
Uh-huh.
on SNFU songs from the first album,
Okay.
and I played a few of those on a few of the three of the songs.
Huh?
So that was when I first actually went back and really listened to the SNFU album. So I think I can remember those from last year, but yeah.
So the muscle memory's not there, huh? You got to go back and
I think the
well for
muscle
me
memory was there. Yeah, it was there
they
10
come
years
back pretty
ago.
quick. They come back pretty
okay.
quick. Yeah, because for me the way I always look about music because I don't really read a lot of music and stuff like that. All this the way I think in my head chords are just like a pattern of where the chords are, right?
Hmm.
Like up and down and to which way. And it sort of came back pretty quickly. It's like I didn't know where to start, but once I started, it's like, okay, yeah, I got it. No problem.
Hmm.
Well, actually, you know what? No, Cannibal Cafe, it's in my muscles because I was listening to it and I thought, oh, it goes this way, but my hand went that way. And my hand, actually, yeah, now it's coming. Yeah, yeah.
All right, all
Yeah,
right.
it does.
So, I mean, I presume in all this kind of looking back over stuff, you guys have spent a fair amount of time revisiting the past. I mean, literally, it's what you're doing here. Are there? Is it all still like a happy memory? I know obviously there was ups and downs and all this, but has time sort of softened those rough edges and you're just kind of left with the good parts of the experience? Nobody
Um,
wants to take that?
Oh,
well, it's interesting because it's like that. It's not just all good. It's all bad. It's not all good or all bad, but
Right.
um, there's a lot of if I looking back now, I would probably do that differently or do this differently. And when we were in the band, I think we had a very poor level of communication with each other, which ended up building up into issues and resentment and things like that with each other. And if we would have communicated better, like kids these days, they're all about communication, that it might have had a different outcome. But I'm an optimist, so I'm going to dwell on the good aspects of the band, and I'm super proud of what we did. So
You never know, Mark. We might have communicated our way out of the band as well. So, and it would have been over before the first album, right? Right? So I'm just like, who knows what would have happened? I'm just think, yeah, it's all good with me. So I'm just so happy that this is happening and that people actually give a shit still. So,
Right. What
yeah.
was there a favorite period in the band for you? I'm kind of guessing the early days when it was all just sort of, you know, getting going and you found yourselves progressing and doing, then obviously later on the miscommunication starts to set in. But,
for
what
me,
was
for
your sort of
me,
favorite part? Sorry.
for me, my favorite lineup was the lineup we had just before we broke up. Oddly enough, was with Curtis on bass and Ted Sim from Winnipeg on drums.
Yep.
That was, to me, was our golden age. We were having tons of fun and touring, and we were like constantly becoming more popular, and we were sort of riding a high of, and we were very confident because of that. And it was just good. I think that was, for me, that was the golden time for us, that period. The better than a stick in the eye period.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I
What
think
about you,
also,
Brent?
I'm gonna going down to record the first album. That was a huge highlight in my SNFU life. First time we traveled to the States, and growing up as a skateboard kid and getting into punk rock, and then going to LA to record a punk rock album. It was everything I wanted at that point in my life. So it was whatever, 19 years old and going to LA to record an album. It's like, I look back at it and go, wow, that's super cool. But at that time, it was just like, it was sort of the next logical progression in what we were doing. But yeah, looking back at it, that was uh, a definite high point for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean it would have to be. Like you say, when you're 19 years old, I mean obviously you took it in stride at the time and
Yeah.
appreciated it, but still to look back on it now, it's like, are you kidding? Come
Well,
on.
yeah, my son's 19. I'm going, was I that young when I was that young? Like, holy cow. And we were driving all over North America. I was like, wow,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, well, a different time.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what are you guys doing musically now? Is there any other projects that you've got individually or together that we should talk about that you'd like to tell me about?
Um, do you want to go? I do
No,
film
you
music.
go.
I do film music now,
Yeah.
so I just sit here and do this and sit at the computer and they give me a film and I score it. Yeah, that keeps me plenty busy in the music world. It's not playing punk rock as much as I used to, but I got into it as I can just not go on tour. I can just sit here and write music all day long, and then
Yeah.
it gets put out and I get paid for it. Super cool. So that's what I've.
And it's way easier on your knees.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I do have a bad knee, but I got
Yeah,
a
what happened there?
here.
Yeah.
I fractured my thumb
Ouch, how?
playing hockey.
Oh, well, there's your problem right there.
Yeah. So guitar playing is not happening today.
Yeah, no, I would think not.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark? What else have you got going on?
I don't do that much music anymore. There's a few projects that I've wanted to finish, but I've been saying that for a very long time. There was a band I had called Based on a True Story that's
Yeah.
sort of like half done, which I would like to put out. And I wrote a bunch of songs on ukulele, like kid songs I had my son and he was younger, but I don't know if it'll ever come out. I keep thinking I would like to do it, but I'm not so sure. I would love to do something. I would love to do another project with Brent. It'd be cool if we lived in the same city. It would be very easy, but that would be fun too. I'd like to do
Well,
another
come on,
project.
let's make this happen here. I think the world would be happy
Hey,
to see you guys working together again.
Daryl, you're the catalyst here to get this whole new thing happening. I know. Yeah.
I'm I'm all about bringing you guys together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my friends. Well, listen, I want to thank you for your time today. That's all I got for you. I will let you guys get back to your respective days. And thanks for the music. And I wish I could come down and see you at the Punk Rock Museum, but I won't be there. But have a blast, enjoy the time, and
You'll be there in
all right.
spirit, Daryl.
Is that?
You'll be there in spirit.
I will be there in spirit. All right. Take care,
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks
See
for
you
your time.
around.